Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Against the Storm, the innovative roguelike city builder that just keeps drawing me back because I think this is honestly a phenomenal game. Admittedly, I haven't played it in a while, and it turns out having a baby kind of does throw off all of your schedules. Nonetheless, I don't want people to forget about this game because I just think it's that outstanding. Now, where do we want to set up today? Great question. I kind of like the idea of getting this watchtower. It's a nice modifier for us. I can get some extra food that way. Or I can start working my way over here and try to screw over this red group right here because they've got a better score than me, but to be honest, I think we'll just have to live with it, and we'll get second place again. That's fine. Marshlands is the only option I can get for maximum food, so let's go ahead and pick this sucker up. The Marshlands does not have much in the way of fertile soil, so that's not going to be great for us. As far as resources, we'll have eggs, some stone, no clay though. Can get some grain, some coal, some copper. All right, so we'll be able to make a lot of our own tools, and meat and eggs are going to be plentiful. The watchtower is great because discovering new glades does not increase hostility, and that really makes a huge difference, honestly. Also, we can get some extra gathering speed for workers to gathering camps, and giant resource nodes. I like all of that. Do I want to play with humans? If there's only a small amount of fertile soil, we probably don't care about it that much. Also, since when did humans have porridge as a need? That's interesting. Okay, that got changed with the Fox update, I think. Anyway, let's play with a load of lizards. I think that's gonna be fine. Max difficulty there, and what do we want here? Royal Permit. Gain additional cornerstone reroll charges. Huh, I got that recently, but I didn't remember it. Well, I don't think it's gonna be a bad idea to get some extra people and then maybe an herbalist camp so we can definitely gather up those mushrooms. Then I just need to focus on getting the meat and the eggs, and that should be enough to keep the lizards happy for a good long while, or at least take advantage of some of their gathering bonuses. Alrighty, let's jump into the fungal forest and see how well we fared. What do we have for our modifiers today? We have strange visions. Villagers with this effect have a 20% chance of doubling the yield in each production cycle. Alright, so the drizzle is extra good for us. We're gonna have horrors from beneath, so the mines are terrible to our resolve. Okay, flooded roads, we have increased costs of travel during a storm. That's not a big deal. Rotten rain, blood flower will spawn on a random farm field. Only a problem if we actually use farms. And then spreading contamination, the impatience grows faster for every blight rot cyst. And to be honest, since I still don't really use the mechanical systems as much as I probably should, the rain punk systems, I don't know how much that's going to hurt me. To be honest, I think we're going to be fine. All right, we have foxes and harpies for this run. Lizards, foxes, and harpies. Oh, this is going to be great. We'll start with our classic opening moves over here as far as having a couple of woodcutter camps. Looks like we're surrounded by lots and lots of dangerous glades, so as long as we can get some resources like, let's say, coal and stuff, I'll bet you'll be able to survive opening a few of these pretty early on, which would be very good. And we do get our first cornerstone. Let's see, we have flame amulets. I do like this. Reducing the amount of hostility we get from woodcutters just basically means I can have them going for a very long time without worrying about this getting too high up there. Expert specialization, not bad. Leather gloves, probably not important. Meat, maybe. If I can find a source, I could see this being good. But I think I'm going to take the flame amulets. Having ways of greatly reducing hostility early on is it's just so good. You really can't say no to that. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a couple of shelters, I think. I do need to get some basic camps up and running. Gosh, I've forgotten, like, all of the hotkeys. Let's see, a crude workstation. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's place that over here close to the storage so that people can gather things a little bit faster. Already opened up a small glade, but it's not going to have any impact thanks to the watchtower, so that's great. A clearance water. Okay, that's nice, I guess. And a coal deposit. Yeah, coal is good. And actually, speaking of coal, let's make sure that no one uses up our coal. I'd rather we burn wood because you never know. Coal sometimes can be used to deal with some of these dangerous glades, and I'd rather have a pile available. Let's not forget we always like to place some decorations as well so we can get that early upgrade for the hearth. And that means we'll be getting a little bit of extra resolve for all of our people. Helps survive the storm. I've also made sure that the harpy is the one who is gathering the hearth because that global carrying capacity of 5 is really, really helpful at the beginning of the game. Easy to overlook, but really strong. Let's go ahead and get a couple people working at the crude workstation, try to get some planks, fabric, and bricks and stuff. That's great. Let's take a look at our new building options. So there's the granary. It's okay in certain circumstances. Carpenter wouldn't be bad for us. I like getting access to some cheaper planks, and I also love having access to tools and just guaranteeing that. The kiln, really strong, though. Can't say no to that, I think. The coal production is going to be fantastic. It makes our lizards happy. It's a great fuel source. We can use it for lots of stuff. This feels like a winner, though I like the carpenter quite a lot. All right, the cookhouse, probably not. The press, no, probably not. Alchemist hut. I do need a way of getting crystallized dew because that is necessary to build the fox houses. We found that in a previous video. So let's go ahead and pick that one up. And then the forester's hut. We can start farming resin and dew. Tempting, but probably don't need that. Farm, herb garden, rain mill. I don't like any of these. I'm going to do a quick reroll. I'm looking for something that's going to build up some more stuff. Okay, the ranch isn't bad. I think that it's between the lumber mill and the carpenter, though, and if I have to choose between them, as much as I love the better planks, I can't say no to the ability to get tools for sure, a guaranteed option. That's not bad. Now, I could pick up some of these orders, but because we have access to timed orders, there's a risk that I would pick one of these and not be able to actually fulfill it, so I'd rather hold off on that a little bit. Let's go ahead and get something like a carpenter up and running instead. Make sure we get some stone cutting up and running as well, so we can get bricks. And with this up and running, we've got plenty of planks coming down. Okay. All right, kiln then. That's probably the next thing. And that way, we actually can start burning some wood in the fires instead. So we'll again place that kind of close over here. Cool, let's go ahead and start producing that. And I want to start producing, like, let's say up to 50 of this stuff. And actually bricks, yeah, we could do this just a little bit better. Let's go ahead and set 12 there. Jerky, if you have the opportunity, is great. We'll try that. Allow for meat. And we can make up to, let's say, 40 of that. All right, so just a better food source. Yeah. This is good. Now, the Harpy Resolve is low, so we need to try to build this up just briefly and then turn this off and let it kind of trickle its way back down. Wouldn't want to lose anybody on the first night. That kind of sucks. The impatience feels like it's grown fairly quickly, though. I will say that much. All right. Next cornerstone, what do we get? Frequent caravans. Boost the global resolve every time we finish a trade route. Well, that could be pretty nice. As long as we keep trading, it's good. Ancient Pact. See the content of Glades? No, thank you. Protected trade. Reduce hostility every time we sell goods. Worth 15 amber. Pretty solid, but we've already got ways of burning down some of that, and we're not building up hostility from Glades, so I feel like we're going to be okay. Survivor bonding, extra speed, and global resolve. The villager's speed is tempting, actually. This could be kind of fun, but is it what I need? Yeah, you know what? I've never picked Survivor bonding. Let's just give it a go. Let's just give it a go and see how that 10% speed really works out for us. Now, would it be worth trying to collect some rainwater? Probably, actually, because if we're going to be making some crystallized dew and stuff with the foxes later, I could see that being useful. And honestly, I would like to try making more use of these water pipes and stuff. I'm chronically bad at it, and I know that. I need to get better, so we'll give that a go. And actually, it looks like we're already getting ourselves up to getting some extra resolve from the Harpies. I could probably afford... barely. I could almost afford to swap over to the Foxes and try to get both of these at the same time. I can juggle it a little bit, but remember they added a cooldown to that, so it's not as quick as it used to be. All right, so there's one of those timed things I was talking about. Have a hearth at the encampment level. Wildfire Essence, they changed the icon for this. That's interesting. Some tools and some parts. I feel like I can try for that. Let's give that one a go. And then another timed one, Joyful Harpies, keep them above 16. Actually, that's something I already can do, no problem. We'll get more Harpies, and I'll get some herbs every few minutes. Fantastic. What else we got? Open up some Glades or do some trading? Let's try for the Glades. We can have some goods and clearance water, or finish up trade routes, better at making water skins. Something I almost never do, actually. I feel like getting provisions and clearance water is easy. So let's try for that, because this also gives me permanent Fox Resolve. I could see that being amazing for us. And then, clothing for the people. We could go for some clothing needs, or we can deliver 65 herbs, which I'm going to be getting for free anyway, if I just wait long enough. Oh, dude, this is completely fine. And by the way, I've already got the encampment level, so immediate delivery. Wow, the best kind of mission, the one I don't even have to work at. And now we just go ahead and disable this for the Harpies, and we'll let this just go for 30 seconds. Dude, okay, that was like as lucky as it gets. Honestly, that was just stinking fantastic. So what do we want here? The Butcher with Skewers could be kind of good for the foxes and for the lizards. I could see that being a thing. And never forget the power of food. Food is really good. Provisioner, well, we do want to be able to make packs of provisions better, but I feel like 4 is easy enough to get without this, so I don't need that. Smithy, no, probably not. Rain mill, no. All right, between all these, I guess I will take the Butcher. If that's the case, we're gonna stop making jerky here at the kiln because it's less efficient. Let's go ahead and start making that at the better building, And we'll also try getting some of those skewers. And if I can go for a food advantage early on, I mean, that's really good. Okay, finished another timed order. Let's go ahead and turn this in. We had plenty of time to spare. I get more people, and we get those herbs coming in. Beautiful. All right, burn down that queen's impatience. Be patient with me, O queen. Everything is going well. The grill, the furnace, getting copper bars actually would be good. Pies, don't care as much about that. Leather worker for a method of getting fabric as well as water skins. Now, in theory, we actually can get some leather. So this isn't a bad thing to have. I don't think I care about the farm. So between these two, the copper bars is a way of consistently getting tools. But if I'm making crystallized dew anyway, then I don't need to worry about the copper bars. I'll be able to make tools anyway. Let's go ahead and pick up the leather worker. You never know if that's going to come in handy. Let's go ahead and set up a makeshift post over here, by the way. We will be able to make some of those provisions for some goods on the off chance I need them. And yeah, let's go ahead and start making the meat that we gather, which I have almost none actually left, into some jerky. Get people fed that way. That should make some people pretty happy. Yeah, if we can find a reliable source of meat, that would be fantastic. These small little sources over here, that's good. That'll help. But it's not going to be enough, not long term. Another glade opens up. We found some drizzle water. We found some mushrooms, some wheat, and copper vein. A very small copper vein. That's not worth much, but alrighty. We were actually getting a decent amount of resolve out of everybody. We still have not gotten past hostility level 1. This is the thing about having flame amulets and also opening up glades for free. Keep that hostility down low, and honestly, the game kind of goes into easy mode. It's really not that tough. So let's go ahead and open up one of these glades right when the drizzle should be reapproaching over here. I'm curious what we're going to find. Also another cornerstone. Secure trail, faster newcomers. We can gain mushrooms for grain, or newcomers bring in extra goods for every hearth level. That's not bad. And then the ancient hearth burns longer for every impatience point I have. So I can make my fuel last even longer. None of these are that helpful, and they're not going to change the game. I say we go ahead and do a reroll. Silent looting, every cache reduces hostility even further, all right. Scouts work faster on events for every firekeeper to a hearth. Gain packs of provisions for every villager. Well, that solves the problem now, doesn't it? Okay, and then porridge increases by 1 for every 150 drizzle produced. Really? That's interesting too. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go pick up peasant supplies. And what this does is it just enabled me to go for a trade build and really have to worry about, like, absolutely nothing on that. I don't even need this makeshift post. I think we can get rid of that sucker. Let's go ahead and get some trade unlocked. Okay, what do we have in the glade? We have one of those blight rot cauldrons flailing around. Okay. Yeah, so we can tear down this thing and it's gonna create cysts all over the colony if we do that, or we can cleanse this thing and use up resources I don't have, so that's not even really an option for us. That's a shame. All right, well, harvesting crops, pottery, and packs of crop production. See, the thing is, that's not useful to me either. So I guess the question becomes, the next 13 minutes, can I find a reliable way of making enough crystallized dew that becomes reasonable? That becomes my new quest. Let's see. So crystallized dew is going to take some of those herbs, of which we're getting plenty. It takes stone, of which I have plenty, and we need some storm water. I won't say I have plenty, but we could swap out to any other kind of water, and that's fine. And if we use our harpies, they have alchemy bonuses, so this is pretty easy. And we set this to, let's say, like 12 or something. Don't worry about the tea. Don't worry about the wine right now. Let's just go ahead and get some crystallized dew. Get me 6 of these. 6 of these, and then we can worry about purging fire. Right, that's the next thing. So we need a blight post as well. No big deal. I like, by the way, that they added a trade route button up over here. That's helpful. Routes that can be started, so it's easier to keep track. That was one of the problems I had with trade routes, and it's one of the reasons I didn't use it as often, because it was very easy to lose track of these dang things. But no longer. That's way more reasonable. A couple of new orders are available for us. We can go for aesthetic decorations. I'm going to do this anyway. Or we can go for the ancient tablets, which does lead to a lot of extra food, but I feel like this is something doable, and it's going to lead to a lot of extra tools and stuff if that's what I want. Also have a lot of coal and a kiln. I already have this. We can just get better at brick production straight out and have some free fuel of many different kinds. Sure, no, this is all completely fine. We can do that. I just need 2 more coal. It feels like the game is being nice to me and giving me lots of missions that are already super easy to complete. I feel like it didn't used to be that nice to me. I'm not really complaining, but I am surprised. I mean, case in point, let's just go ahead and just turn this in right now. Boom, thank you, appreciate that. All right, over here, I will go ahead and send a harpy, and let's begin the cleansing process. And that only took me a few minutes, so yeah, we should have plenty of time to go ahead and get this cleaned out. No problem. We do have a lot of geysers available so far. Do we want to pick up some of these? Honestly, I feel like the stormwater is extremely good for us. Stormwater is used for almost all the big crafting buildings, so things like the kiln, for example, would be a good example of that. The butcher actually is a food-type building and likes drizzle water, so we could hook up something there. Carpenter does take stormwater. Yeah, storm seems like it's the hardest one to come by and the most valuable, so let's pick up that geyser, though honestly the other two, they've all got their uses in my base as well. We might want to use some of that crystallized dew to make some pipes, so we can actually set up some more rain punk industry. Another day passed, I actually wasn't paying attention, so one of my harpies left me. Dang it, that's probably fine though. Wood production increased, but harvesting and planting are slower. Okay, gain water skins for every full reputation, a point obtained, not that useful, and then gain insects every time we cut down trees during a storm. That's interesting. And then what is this one? I don't know if I've ever seen economic migration before. One of the wealthiest in the realm, they arrive faster for every level of standing I have with other settlements. The more trade routes we do, the faster I get new people. Now that is interesting. Huh. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pick the woodpecker technique. I think that that's going to get me reliably some extra food I can use for a lot of our recipes. When meat might eventually start to run out. Until I find a better way of getting meat, that just kind of hedges my bets. That takes care of the Blight Rock Cauldron, by the way, so let's go ahead and turn in some other orders. Boom and boom, that's 2 more. All right, we got a few more reputation points. Of course, the higher the reputation is, the higher the expectation, so we're not generating a lot of extra resolve right now, but oh well. The ranch might seem very tempting, and if I had another way of getting something to feed these critters, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, we could use up some grain, right? So 8 grain becomes 10 meat. That's something, but without a way of getting grain, I'm not sure how useful it's going to be. Unless we want to trade for it repeatedly. We could do that. Yeah, the ranch isn't a terrible plan. Maybe we go for the ranch. Alternatively, the Forger's Camp, we did find some grain sources over here, but the grain is only useful to me if I'm going to have the ranch. That's the downside. So, what do I really want here, then? Probably not a farm. I still haven't seen any fertile farming fields. No, and no. So yeah, that's not going to be it. All right, let's pick up the Forger's Camp so I have the ability to get grain, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. We could do a beanery for porridge. Now that's a thing. Take some drizzle water, take some grain, get some food. Make your foxes, you're a bit happier. Yeah, that's a thing. We could pickle the eggs. That will make the lizards and the foxes happier. We should be able to get water skins eventually. I'm pretty good at that, actually. And then there's another method of making crystallized dew, but not necessarily a better way of getting crystallized dew. Explorer's Lodge wouldn't be bad either, if we want to get ourselves some training gear and some scrolls, but right now I don't have that. If we get a clothier, I could get some scrolls. A manufacturer could get me training gear. What does it take to get the training gear again? That takes some stone or crystallized dew plus some planks. So the question is, do we double down on food or do we go for a manner of recreation? For now, I double down on food, but I really would like to get a method of recreation, and since there are 3 of them here, it feels like that should be easy to do. The market's actually perfect, because with the Alchemist's Hut, I can make wine and I can make tea as long as I get the right ingredients, and that's both types of recipes right here. Yeah, okay, also, global carrying capacity increased by 10? Very, very good. Very, very good. Let's go ahead and pick up the market. Gonna go ahead and place down that beanery over there. I mean, at the very least, having guaranteed extra food is not a bad idea, right? There's the geyser pump. I really need to get more of these foxes up and running. How do I have so many foxes? Oh, right, we did a bunch of missions that got me a ton of foxes. I'm loaded with foxes. All right, we're not gonna be struggling for water anytime soon. Do we wanna get ourselves another one of those geyser pumps? Yeah, honestly, we could get the drizzle water, and that guarantees we're not gonna have any issues with the food, so we can get plenty of porridge and stuff. Also pickled goods and so on. Yeah. Also, let's not forget we can now make tools. We should be making use of our crystallized dew, and ideally our planks, not our wood, since we have decent exchange rates there. And that is gonna help us get enough tools to open up crates. Oh, we're looking good now. We're looking really good. We can even favor the lizards, and the prediction shows that the foxes will still be above the threshold, so now we're generating an extra 0.35 resolve per minute. Never mind, the lizards are angry again. We just need to get them some housing. They'll be fine once we get them some housing. Actually, I think that would be really smart would be to get myself another hearth right about now. Yeah, we could really use some more hearths, more places to move out some of my population and get some extra decorations and resolve. Speaking of decorations, good grief, I keep forgetting about things like this, but it's so important. Let's get ourselves some basic decorations like this. There we go, and that should be enough to level me up. We wanted to get a leather worker as well, right? That is a thing that I wanted. We'll probably place it down over here. I need to get myself a warehouse or something. Yeah, let's just go ahead and deliver goods over in this area. It's always a good idea to have some extra drop-off points if you're going to have people work far away. I don't feel like we need to open that many more glades in order to win this, honestly. Things are looking so good right now. I think we got a very good chance that we're going to be able to win this with very few glades open. I am glad that I grabbed this herbalist camp, believe it or not, because mushrooms are going to be useful for a lot of different things. That will be part of the process of making things like some teas. We can even make wine out of the mushrooms. As disgusting as that sounds, that is, in fact, a thing we can do. Another building is available for us. Barrels, no. Tea, blah, blah, blah. Tools again. Temple. Temple for incense and scrolls. I mean, we have no immediate use for this. I'd be picking this up just hoping eventually it becomes useful to me. I don't know if I love that. I'd rather go ahead and re-roll some of my amber and just try for something a little bit better. The clothier for some clothes would only make the harpies happy, which is something, but not that important, I think. Smelter, no. Brickyard. Yeah. Alright, well, I don't love all of this, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just pick up the clan hall, since I don't want to just have to keep re-rolling forever. And let's trust at some point we have a method of making training gear. That's something I know that I need. Another order, we can go for loyalty events, which, remember, decisions were added a few patches ago, back when the foxes were introduced, and I think you guys saw that in the Blightrock Cauldron. Or open up 4 dangerous events, and then gain access to the artisan. Honestly, none of these are very useful to me. I guess if we're going to do 3 events anyway, but there's no guarantee there are loyalty options, we'll probably end up doing 4 or 5, at which point we might as well just take this one. But honestly, that one feels optional. I may just not actually complete that. Contrary to popular belief, you do not actually have to complete all of your orders to win the game. Completely viable not to do that. Another storm comes and goes. Next cornerstone is going to be leftover crops. Well, I don't know if this actually stacks technically with the amount being delivered to us. It's not being produced, it's being delivered, so I don't think we get anything out of that. Bed and breakfasts gain amber every time a trader arrives. Fascinating. Or extra leather production. You know, I'm struggling a little bit with things like leather production. Let's go ahead and boost that up and try to get a little bit extra out of some of these trapping camps and stuff. Okay, we've opened up another one of these glades. There's even more geysers. Good lord. All right, let's see. Corrupted caravan, more cleansing opportunities using the exact same stuff as before. However, every 120 seconds we get some cysts. That's not the worst thing in the world. Or we could send some contaminated goods and the crown will not be happy with that. Nah, I think we go ahead and do the cleanse. The cleanse should be fine. We're supposed to build a whole bunch of aesthetic things, right? I mean, mostly it's just going to cost me a whole bunch of, like, planks, but I guess I'm okay with placing down a handful of these. That's an easy way to farm out an extra reputation point. There's a reputation point. What do we get here? Granary, bakery, provisioner, scribe. Ugh, well, the scrolls would have worked for other stuff earlier, but not so much anymore. Let's go ahead and do a reroll there. Smokehouse, tavern, ranch, there it is again. All right, let's go ahead and pick up the ranch, because now I have a consistent method of getting meat and leather. And honestly, that's fine. We've got a market. I'm going to go ahead and toss a couple of harpies in there. That gets me the extra global carrying capacity. Now we can use things like wine and tea, which are produced here at the Alchemist's Hut. Alchemist's Hut right now, by the way, is struggling because I'm out of stone and clay. Any chance Old Farlive has a way around that? Yes, actually. Let's go ahead and buy a whole load of clay. I don't even need all these provisions. That's fine. Trade. Boom. All right, now we're able to make more crystallized dew once again. And with crystallized dew, I can make more tea and I can make more wine. Also, we said we were going to be placing down one of those leather workers, but I don't think we ever actually did that. Let's go ahead and fix that now. Why? Because I need to be able to make wine consistently. So I need to have water skins consistently. Wow, my foxes are phenomenally happy. 41 resolve? That's absolutely nuts. All right, let's go ahead and favor the harpies. That means I'm now making 0.58 reputation per minute. We're about to get our last possible building. What is it going to be? We are going to get the Druid's Hut, the Lumber Mill, the Press, or the Grill. None of those are going to be outstanding for me. We are probably going to want to do a reroll. If I'm going to do a reroll anyway, best thing I can think to do right now is probably send some caches to the Citadel. And actually, now that I think about it, this counts as a loyalty event, doesn't it? Oh. Actually, that would have been a completely viable way of meeting the needs for our queen and Getting the loyalty events. Oops. Oh well, that's not a big deal. Hey, look! Loads of crystallized dew and amber and stuff. All right, that actually solves that problem, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and do that reroll I was talking about. And can we get training gear? All right, the cooperage is what we're gonna go for. Perfect. Oh wow, that's a lot of blight rot cysts though, all over my main warehouse. Look at all those freaking cysts. Wow, gosh. Yeah, that thing kind of messed me up. We are pretty high on the unhappiness here. Oof, boy. I guess we do actually have to pull back on the woodcutters' camps. See if we can get that hostility down a level. That at least is enough to save me with the harpies. I should be okay with the lizards. Their happiness tends to go down very slowly, which is nice. How's the Ancient Hearth doing? I was starting to build up a fair bit of blight rot, but we were able to get through that no problem. Yeah, okay, we're fine right now. One more cornerstone. I think we should be able to end things as of this day. Trade Hub, Cooking Steam, Ancient Pact, Calming the Forest. I guess retroactively calming things down right now is not a bad idea. All right, that's fine. And then for our last order, luxury goods, or do that whole brawling thing I was just talking about. You know, we're already trying for this. I don't know if we're going to have enough time. In fact, I guarantee we're not going to have enough time now that I think about it, because the harpies and the foxes are about to be done, and in less than a minute, I am going to get up to 14 reputation. So we can just sit back and do nothing right now. Right, okay, fine. Yeah, that's great. Unless we want to just cut open some glades real quick. Quickly, cut open the glades. Nah, it doesn't even matter. There we go. All right, that was actually a really easy run. Like a really, really easy run overall. I know the watchtower helps a bit, but I think we got quite lucky with some of our missions this time around. Finish like a machine and prosperity level 4, another 102 food stockpiles. That's pretty darn useful for me. And actually, we performed well enough that I'm pretty far ahead in score right now on Viceroy difficulty compared to the other factions. That's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Smoldering City, see what other upgrades I can buy. Always turn in the deeds, of course. Enjoy some of that extra experience. Never a bad plan. And has starting abilities always been a thing? Am I just now only noticing this? Get a beaver for the first time. Extend available trade offers by 1 in each neighboring town. As opposed to the harpies, gain 50 coats when you get your first harpy. Really? Starting ability for foxes, reveal the location of the nearest geyser. Hey, I remember hearing about that when foxes were first introduced into the game. I was wondering where that was because I didn't see it anywhere. Humans reveal the location of the nearest patch of fertile soil. Oh, that's useful! And then lizards give you 10 tools. Huh. Okay, I like some of these. I like these a lot, actually. So we'll get those starting abilities plus an extra 2% production speed, plus we'll get some discounted trade, and okay, that means we now have only all of these perks left. Oh gosh, there's still a long, long way to go, isn't there? That's fine, though. I still love this game. It's such a good game, guys. A roguelike city builder, man. Like, who would have known? But it's so freaking awesome! Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and if so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notified bell, and I will see you guys next time.